Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pets.
Susie, that is absolutely crazy. And it actually reminds me of this time when I was back in high school. We didn't have fully developed prefrontal cortexes, so our decision making was subpar. So us and the boys decided to make something that goes kaboom, right? And you would get 2-liter bottles, and you would put aluminum foil in the bottom of them with a little bit of toilet cleaner in there. And then you would screw the lid on, the gases, chemistry, all that. Then you'd throw it a big far ways away and it would go kaboom. Big kaboom, really big kaboom. You don't want to be near it because it'll cause a little bit of burns on the skin. So just like anybody from a small town of Wyoming, you go out in the hills, you go out in the mountains, and you do it out there. And as guys with a bunch of testosterone running through us and a lack of a prefrontal cortex, we thought it was awesome. It was the coolest thing since sliced bread. So we decided to go get some more bottles at my mom's house. And we go over there like, why are you grabbing so many water bottles? Mom, we are high school athletes. Why would you ask that question? We are hungry and we are thirsty. So we decided to do that. Well, then we just wanted to get a little bit riskier because that prefrontal cortex started shrinking a little bit. So our decisions just weren't great. So we started doing them in town. This is a town of 5,000 people. My stepdad is the chief of police. My uncle is a police officer. My grandpa is the mayor. I am the all-star football player. Everybody knows me. I know them. Just a great mix. So we start doing some crazy things. And we start throwing these little kaboomies in car wash bays. Okay? Throw it in there. Ba-boom. Bang, bada, boom. Everything's fun. We're laughing. We're running. And we go to the park. And we go to the park and we grab a pumpkin, we put it on the pitcher's mound, and we blow the pumpkin up. Pumpkin goes kaboom, we all laugh, and it's pretty cool. Well, then, the best decision of them all, we decide to go out back to the hills, and we use a glass bottle, right? So we put it in the glass bottle, toilet bowl cleaner, all the goods, throw it, boom! Glass shoots everywhere, everybody's safe, so we might as well up it. We decided to go with the big bottle, the big 2-liter guy. And the best decision of the night, we decided to head over to our high school football stadium, which is private property after school, owned by the state of Wyoming. And we decide to go over to the football stadium because if I can find a picture of the football stadium, I'll put it right here. If I don't, you get the American flag. It was these old metal bleachers, and this had this big, big part underneath the bleachers where you could go. So we decided, we're like scientists now. We're making scientific chemistry experiments. If there's a big archway, there's going to be a big sound. So we go over there. There's 4 of us. I'm driving. I'm staying at the vehicle. The 3 of the guys go out there. They leave the toilet bowl cleaner and the aluminum foil on the back tailgate. They're walking their merry way over there. We're just hanging out. We didn't have cell phones with internet on them, so we were just T9 word texting all of our ladies, right? And as I look in the rearview mirror, I start seeing lights, just headlights, coming into the parking lot. What is this? Do we call a buddy over? As they get closer, I see that it's a police officer. Police officer says, we have to check all the high school parking lots on the weekends after night because we don't want anybody parking in here. Well, he pulls out, gets out of his vehicle. He sees my vehicle. He's like, wow, it's the chief of police's son, also the star football player. So he comes out and he's just shooting the crap with us. Like, man, what are you guys doing here? We're just hanging out, man, just reminiscing, looking at the stadium. You know, it's a beautiful stadium. As he's outside of his vehicle, what sounds like a 300 Win Mag goes off. Boom! Very loud. Cop gets scared, grabs for his gun. What was that? What was that? What are you guys doing? Yeah. I was 17. All my other buddies were 17. One buddy was 18. I won't get into the legalities of all this, but it was not great. So our buddies, we tell them to take off. And they take off towards the bus barn. If you know Wyoming and you know my hometown, you know the football stadium's right by the bus barn. They take off. Cops end up cutting them off and getting them. They handcuff us, put us in the back of the police car, take us to the police station, right? At this time, my stepfather, chief of police, he's sleeping. My mother, just my mother, she's sleeping. So we get handcuffed. We go there. All the other parents answer the phone because they're up late. I don't know what they're doing. They answer the phones. My parents, they don't answer. Well, me having the connections that we do, I stay handcuffed. I get in the back of the vehicle. They drive me to my parents' house. Drop me off at my parents' house. Tell them what happened. My mom wants to beat the living shit out of me. Now she knows why we had all the water bottles. Now she knows we really weren't that thirsty. I am right now. And my stepfather, the chief of police, it's really good to see his son doing such great things in the community. But I revamped my reputation. Listen to this. Long story short, the attorney in town, and I forgot the name of the person, but the public defender or whoever, the prosecutor, county prosecutor, throws the book at us. They bring in the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency. These are federal agents. They bring the federal agents in because two things. We were on school property, number one. Number two, that second worst decision, remember that one? When we did the glass bottle. Yeah, we were out in the hills, but somebody ended up being a rat and being a wussy and told that we did a glass bottle. Well, since it was a glass bottle and it was a kaboom, even out in the hills, it's considered a big kaboom, a big problem, something that is very dangerous, a deadly kaboom. And so the ATF throws the book at us. Luckily, I'm 17. My other buddies are 17. My other buddy's 18. And the attorney just tries to grill us, trying to make an example of the all-star football players. 4 out of the 4 were all conference football players. All 4 of us. Quarterback, I was the running back. The other one was the fullback. Another one was a lineman. Okay. Well, this is published in our papers and all this stuff. Well, long story short, my parents, wanting to teach me a lesson and not wanting to spend copious amounts of money on an attorney, do not hire an attorney to fight this. Everybody else's parents could afford it, and so they get an attorney. My parents, number one, couldn't or did not want to afford an attorney. Number two, wanted to teach me a lesson. So we, since I didn't fight it, it's off my record. Yep, it's off my record. But I had to have 300 hours of community service. 300. So my prefrontal cortex, a couple months later, is a little bit more developed, and I start making better decisions. So this better decision leads me to joining the Kiwanis Key Club. Why would I join the Kiwanis Key Club? I never did it before. I'm a junior in high school. There's no reason to get in the Kiwanis Key Club. I got in the Kiwanis Key Club because you have to do mandatory community service through the Kiwanis Key Club. And if you do it, it's a big thing. And if you do a lot of it, it's even a bigger thing. And if you do a ton of it, like 300 hours, it's a really big deal. And so there was only a couple people in my inner circle, the principal, the vice principal, they all knew that my community service was court-ordered community service. So I'm in the Key Club in less than 6 months. 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was. I got 300 hours of community service done. Some of it had to be done at a landfill. Some of it was doing my friends' laundry and dishes and washing their trucks, whatever it was. So I got 300 hours of community service done. At the end of the year, I didn't realize that the Kiwanis Key Club did a huge school-wide assembly and rewarded the person in the school with the most amount of community service hours with this really big award. Well, come to find out, Colby, having 300 hours of community service, court-ordered, I set the record for the state of Wyoming for the most amount of community service hours ever recorded. Yep. Most people didn't know it was court-ordered. Almost nobody knew it was court-ordered. The Kiwanis Club didn't know it was court-ordered. But I got 300 hours of community service done. You can't take that away from me. I got it done. I did every single hour. Yeah, it's off my record. I am now the state of Wyoming's largest hours of community service holder in the Kiwanis Key Club. And nobody's going to ever touch that record. So good try. But yeah, Susie, that pesto from the store, it's nothing compared to what you're doing. It's crazy.